Hello and welcome to the Growing Guelph podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jordan Sloggett. Today I'm speaking with Teresa Johnston and her sister, Sue Wilkinson. Teresa is the co-run director and Sue does the social media and communications for the Canadian Cancer Society, CIBC, Run for the Cure, Guelph site. We talk about their family story, the move to the University of Guelph, what the day of the run looks like, and how anyone can take part by running, walking, or rolling. Before I wrap up this introduction, if you enjoy Growing Guelph and want to help support local storytelling, I've launched a Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early, ad-free episodes, you can submit questions for guests, and help shape future topics. It's totally optional, but it always helps keep this project going and growing. You can check it out at patreon.com/growingguelph, and I'll make sure there's a link in the show notes. Thanks for listening and supporting independent local media. And now to my conversation with Teresa Johnston and Sue Wilkinson. Today on the Growing Guelph podcast, I'm joined by two members of the Canadian Cancer Society, CIBC Run for the Cure, the Guelph site. I'm joined by Teresa Johnston, who's the co-run director, and Sue Wilkinson, the social media and communications. Teresa, you're going to be speaking for most of this this interview, and then Sue, you might hop in for some social talk and that at the end.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, Teresa, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your story, which I understand is a very personal connection, and then just all of the good that you're looking to accomplish with this event. So, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I guess just to hop right into it, Teresa, can you explain to me, and maybe just kind of go into detail about what your personal why is for leading the Guelph Run? How did you get involved, and how long have you been doing this?
So I got involved about 15 years ago. My daughter Megan asked me if I wanted to join the committee because a friend of hers had been diagnosed at a young age with breast cancer. So it was a way to support her friend. And so we were both on the committee. And then maybe 2 years later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And then the following year, my daughter was diagnosed with breast cancer. So it's close to our hearts.
Yeah. Well, I can only imagine that sort of family. I mean, a single diagnosis in a family can, be life-changing for everyone involved. Having two, and then so close back to back, like, do you in some ways view some of this, like, does your family have like a before and after, like some of the events that led into this in terms of the ramifications for you and things like that? Like, do you view some of that in your mind that way?
Absolutely. I'll answer. Yeah. There's a before we lost Megan and an after we lost Megan. There's a very clear timeline.
Megan was your daughter?
Yes.
Yeah. And I apologize. I know this is personal, but I think it is a deeply personal and hard story, right? And that's like why people are. I'm sure it compels you to continue to be involved and give your time for this, but clearly you had that drive to give even before there was that. Like you said, it was your daughter's
my daughter's friend.
But there was that drive to be connected even before it became like that much closer to home.
Yep.
When did your daughter pass?
In 2016.
2016?
Yep.
Well, I'm very sorry for your loss, you and your family's loss.
Thank you.
I guess kudos to you to keeping the flame that she started in terms of the connection to the Guelph Run, and it probably doesn't make the loss any easier to deal with, but at least you can take some solace that you're giving back. You're doing your small part to prevent future tragedies like that. Yeah. Can you go into a little bit about what the Canadian Cancer Society CIBC Run for the Cure is? I'm kind of aware of it as a concept. Like, I've seen the logo and things like that, but I don't actually know what goes into the actual
Sure.
runs and that.
Sure. We are the largest in Canada, the largest single-day volunteer-led fundraiser in Canada supporting breast cancer. We have a 1K and a 5K run that raises funds for breast cancer research.
Is it a singular event that's happening across Canada with multiple sites?
Yep.
Okay.
So we have over 50 sites. I believe there's 57 sites across Canada.
Wow.
Yep. And it's all done on the same day, on the first Sunday of October.
I guess that's a good time of year to be running, in terms of, is it outdoor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so when, do you have a number of people who sign up to be runners as part of it? And then people, how does that work?
So you go to the website and sign up. We're a walk mostly. We out of the participants we had last year, we had 555. Only about 20 of them actually run. Most of them walk. It's a really family-oriented day.
It's less about the your time of the run or things
Yeah.
like that. It's
No,
more just that you're
yeah.
dedicating your time and energy to movement.
Yeah.
And letting that movement inspire the donations for others. So does it become like a pledge drive in terms of the people who are participating? Put the word out there and then
you fundraise before, like when you sign up, you can start fundraising, I guess. Yeah.
So when people sign up, they can choose to either self-donate 35 to 45, depending on it. It gets higher the closer to the run date we get, or they can pledge to raise $150, and they do that by posting a link on their social media saying, "Hey, I'm running the event. Please sponsor me. Please donate to the cause." And other people donate to their particular profile, and then it all goes into the one big pot, and hopefully one day cures cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you've been involved in the Guelph specifically, the event, since you're
for 15 years, so since 2010, I've been involved with it.
I guess just to, I always like to kind of dig in with the guests, since this is a Guelph themed podcast, their connection to Guelph and the city, and then how the city sort of shapes like what you're here to talk about. What's your connection to Guelph as a city? Like, when did you move here, or what's your relationship to the city?
Yeah, I moved to Guelph. I actually had no former relationship with Guelph. We moved here in 1994. My husband and our kids moved here in 1994 for his job.
Yeah.
So that's how we got here.
Yeah. And then so you've been in Guelph a decent chunk of time in terms of
30-ish years, 31 years.
Yeah. How has your relationship with the city developed throughout that time? Like, you totally fair if your answer is like you don't think about it much and it's just where you live?
Yeah, I actually don't even live in Guelph now. I live in Flamborough. I come back to Guelph every Wednesday for my grandparenting duties, but other than the Run for the Cure and babysitting, I really don't spend a lot of time in Guelph.
Yeah.
We specifically do the Guelph Run in honor of Megan, because that's where Megan worked at Skyjack, so she was involved in it through Skyjack, because they sponsored the run often, and they helped us with the Skyjack with the signs and all kinds of. They sponsored Megan a lot when she was doing it. So as a family, we continue to do. We choose Guelph because that's what Megan would wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find, in general, the Guelph community is eager to support events like yours, or like?
Yeah, we get a good number of people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before COVID, the year just before COVID hit us, we were at an all-time high of over 1,000 participants.
Wow.
And we raised over $180,000 that year, and then COVID hit. So there was a few years that we weren't allowed to gather, and we're slowly building back up. Last year we had 555. This year our goal is 640. We'd love to get back up to pre-COVID numbers.
It's wild in how many aspects of our lives we're still chasing these like pre-COVID
Yeah.
highs of participation and events, and I don't know. I mean, the longer we get from, and you could still probably debate if we're still in a post-COVID or where we're at with regards to COVID. History will be able to tell us more accurately than we can say now, but it doesn't seem like there's a going back to that same.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and whether it's a changing relationship that people have with like their finances, and if people are feeling more precarious about giving, or if it's just
there's social anxiety.
Yeah, there's people got so used to, like, we're gonna have like whole generations of people with just a little bit of like agoraphobia and things like that, because it was instilled into us for a good chunk of time of just, I still catch myself giving, like, stepping off the sidewalk when I'm walking by people, because we were doing that for a while during COVID, but it's, I don't know. My wife likes to remind me that I'm more likely to get like hit by a car or stepping off the sidewalk than I am to catch a disease from someone on the sidewalk. So good advice. I think you did a pretty good explanation of what the Run for the Cure is. When did it start?
It started originally in Toronto in 1992, and then slowly grew to, like I said, over 50 sites across Canada.
Yeah.
So in Guelph, it started in 2003. Was our first run. And
then CIBC's involvement? Are they just like a primary sponsor?
They're our title sponsor, yep.
I imagine they help fund some of the, like, the website that's used and some of the campaigns that go out. And,
they do.
So you just answered this question, but the first Guelph event was in 2003?
2003,
2003. Can you describe, well, you did sort of describe how it's grown since that first event, but what did Guelph raise last year? I think you had said that
last
you were
year,
close to getting back to that pre-COVID, or you're...
Well, we're getting there. Last year, Guelph raised $135,000, and we had 555 participants last year.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people, all like running downtown,
Yeah. What are the goals for this year?
This year's goals are 140,000 and 640 participants.
And do you know where you're tracking with regards to the number of participant goals and things like that?
So right now we are at 100. When I pulled the report yesterday, we're at 155. But in September's our really busy month. So like it climbs almost by the hour, the number of our participants.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Would you say you're basically tracking?
We're ahead of last year.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, we're ahead of last year.
Yeah. And do you have any sense of like what are the biggest barriers to people for joining something like this? Is it just like really getting through to them in terms of I think a lot of people hear stuff like this and they're like, oh yes, if I had the time, if I had the money, but you know, people can feel swamped and...
Yeah, a lot of people don't actually want to get involved, or not that they don't want to, but time constraints. And then, if you haven't been affected by it, then, you don't really want to get involved until you've been affected by it. Yeah,
it's too bad that it takes to that level, but I don't say it's necessarily selfishness, or it's just, people have a lot going on in their lives at any given time. But certainly tragic events like that can, like what happened with your family, it can instill just like a lifelong passion to, as we kind of said at the beginning, like a hope to prevent that from happening to people in the future.
Mm-hmm. I honestly think another big thing that stops people is in the title, because they think they have to run.
Yeah.
They don't have to run. And they don't have to run 5K, which is a lot for some people, right? So I think if it was just a move for the cure, so that people realize that they can walk it, they can hop, skip, or jump it, we don't care.
Yeah.
We just want you to be there and just have fun with us. Like, we have so much that goes on the day of the run. We have face painters, we have things for kids to do. This year we're having a scavenger hunt. We have the marching band. What is it?
Guelph Pipe Band.
Pipe band, yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
So we have a lot of fun things that go with it. but I think that people get a little discouraged because they think they have to run, and
Yeah.
they don't.
Maybe it's an opportunity for
We get asked that at every event.
Yeah, maybe
We have
the
to run it.
CIBC team could think about, rebranding or just rethinking what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the day itself? So I imagine both of you are kind of involved in the planning and making it. You kind of talked about it like it's a joyous event.
Mm-hmm.
What does the day mean for you? I guess, and for you particularly, Teresa, in terms of like, is it a heavy day emotionally, or is it the day of just like you have so many responsibilities, you're kind of just go go go?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It's because we start setting up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and we have to be ready for 8 o'clock in the morning for people to get there. So it's
a long
like go
day.
go 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 go, and then you start all the speeches, and then it gets emotional.
Yeah.
And then it's go 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 because you've got to get everything down by a certain time and get out of the venue. So, yeah, it's a little bit of both.
And then you kind of just catch your breath at the end of the day and say, okay, we did it.
Yeah.
Another year.
Another year in the books. Yeah.
You give yourself a couple weeks, couple months time to.
And then we start again.
Yeah.
We generally start again. We start in usually February, getting the team together and getting plans going and what we're going to do and stuff. And then.
And your husband, Teresa, is also involved. Is he the co-director?
He's my co-director. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the director for logistics.
Has putting your efforts into like something like this, like a real positive, constructive way of taking your energy. Do you think it's, and you don't have to speak for your husband on this, but has it been a part of your grieving process? Or the maybe not even grief, but just because you don't want to use the words moving on, but like healing and sort of channeling what your life's work in terms of the energies that you put out there into the world. Like, can you speak to that a little bit? Or is that something that's on your mind when you're doing all of this, or is it just?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's part of the healing. It's part of the moving forward.
Yeah.
We have our own team in there called Megan's Minions, so it's obviously in her honor.
Can you and I don't want to necessarily push you into a spot emotionally, but what do you think Megan would think about the legacy that you've sort of built with this? Like, does that?
I think she'd love it.
Yeah, well, that's got to be heartening to know, and I'm sure like some of the joy of the day of the event itself, like, do you feel like it feels like for you, like a lot of your motivation is wrapped up in Megan and her story, but I don't want to force you down to any paths of like, if it's difficult, but can you tell me a little bit about Megan and like who she was as a person, and just like so that we can capture a little bit of that. And it's perfectly okay if it's.
Megan was awesome. She was
Yeah.
She was quirky, funny. She faced cancer with such bravado and
Humor.
such humor. Like she was not the type of person that wore a wig or covered up her bald head.
Mm-hmm.
She walked around like she had a mastectomy, but she walked around completely one-sided, and she was not afraid to play the C card. She's like, what are you gonna do? I have cancer. Like she was so funny and so witty. She was young. She was 30 when she was diagnosed and 33 when she passed away. But she had such a spark that she made you want to do things, like, because she was involved, right? She was involved even while she was in treatment. She still helped organize everything. She participated. She walked the 1K when she was, still in treatment, when she was in stage 4.
Yeah.
So I think that she would be very, very happy that we continue in her honor.
Well, what a tremendous legacy to leave, especially like you were saying, someone that is just positive even in the face of the one of the biggest challenges that life can throw at you, and something that I think everyone would agree, like, if you wanted to just be private about it, if you didn't want to, like, everyone would understand that, that tendency, but to tackle it and to face it with such fearlessness, and to inspire others, I mean, I think kudos to you and your husband and everyone else involved in the team for kind of keeping some of that spark of fearlessness, like keeping it going and keeping it moving forward. Because I think every year you're probably inspiring future people to get involved for it, both on the running, walking, moving, however they want stage, and then also just the behind the scenes and it's probably a huge amount of effort on everyone's part.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. So
But it's worth it.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
is this when you're organizing something like this, I assume, is this all like a volunteer based?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like a
So
labor
everything,
of love.
yeah,
and-
everything is volunteer.
Yeah. What do you mind if what do you do outside of this?
I am retired. I'm a housewife.
Yeah.
So this for me, this could be a full-time job for me because I'm always making phone calls or on the computer or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's the thing with like any kind of nonprofit work, right? Is that it's sort of an endless well that if you have energy, you can pour yourself into it.
yeah.
For good and for bad, but it just sounds like for this case, there's a lot of good that you're doing. Maybe we could get into the basics of what the event looks like.
Sure.
What's the date of this year? The time? Where should what should people know about it? What are some of the distances offered? We kind of already talked about if people have to run. But
Yeah.
what's the competitiveness of it like?
So the event takes place on October 5th. Registration starts at 8:00 in the morning. We have a 1K and a 5K. You can bring your dogs. We have a breast-dressed dog contest. So yeah, people bring their dogs and deck them all out in pink, and they'll get a prize for the best-dressed dog. We're going to be out. This is our first year out at the University of Guelph. We've been downtown since the run's conception, so this year we decided to move out to the University of Guelph. So we're going to be in P15. That's where everything will be set up, and we'll be doing everything from there. We're going to be walking in the Arboretum.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
a good walking.
Yeah,
space
in
to
October,
be.
I'm hoping the leaves will be just nice, and it'll be a nice walk.
Yeah, probably more than a few students who are still, first year students.
Yeah.
Excited to be on the campus, exploring the Arboretum.
Yeah.
Probably participating, getting involved.
That's what I'm hoping out there, that we get a lot of student participation.
And pardon me, I have a little bit of event planning background, and I'm just sort of curious in terms of logistically, is it easier working with a single entity like the University of Guelph versus I can't even imagine what had to go into for downtown, because downtown you're dealing with so many different businesses.
Well, I'll tell you, it's
I
a
was-
lot cheaper for us because last
I
year
was-
we paid the city like $13,000 or something like that.
close to
just be
$10,000,
downtown.
yeah.
Plus, we had to close so many roads.
Yeah.
People complained that we were closing roads. Doesn't matter what it's for. People just complained that they were
Guelph drivers are
inconvenienced by an
so
hour.
Guelph
You know.
drivers are so sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in Toronto. I've dealt with actual traffic. In Guelph, you can go from one end of Guelph to the other, and if anything happens that just creates you have to stop your car for any reason, it's like a tragedy in Guelph.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Truly, we are privileged drivers here, and we have a very navigable city.
Yeah. So to answer your question, yes, Guelph has been so much easier.
The university?
The university has been so much easier to deal with.
Do you think it'll be, I mean, you can't guarantee, but do you foresee it being the home of the run moving forward, or?
I've already put a date on hold for next year at
good,
the university.
And is it rain or shine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, unless the weather gets really bad. If we're thundering and lightning and stuff, then it gets canceled.
Right, if it's dangerous.
if it's
for
dangerous, yeah.
participation.
So yeah, we have to keep an eye on the weather, from 3 days prior to the race, and keep, watch and make
Last
sure
year was a
everything.
little touch and go
Yeah.
because there was a really big windstorm the day before.
And the day
we
of.
didn't know. And the morning of, it was quite windy.
Yeah.
And we didn't know until probably 2 or 3 hours before the event that it was still a go. We were acting like it was still a go, but we honestly didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could probably be nerve-wracking.
Yes.
Is there a lot of relief in the day after, or like even the night of the event when it's done and you're just like...
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of relief. I will go home and have a glass of wine and it's done.
Well-earned chance to take a breath.
Yeah. And then we get together maybe a week or two after and discuss, all the good things, all the bad things, what we need to change for next year and stuff like that, kind of debrief.
Yeah. So you get about a week's break and then it's just right into the next one.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like accessibility and like the logistics of the day, is it a single route that people do, or is there different variations?
No, it's going to be a single route. The 1K is going to be part of the 5K.
Okay.
So
there's a turnaround point.
There's
at 500 meters. There's a sign that says turn around.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah.
Do people have to worry about parking?
No, there is plenty of free parking.
Oh, that's good.
Free parking at there's right beside the lot that we're in. There's a huge lot right beside us.
Okay, you said you were a lot like
We're in P15.
P15, yeah.
P15.
I went to school at Guelph, but I never drove a car there, so I'm not at all familiar with the parking
They
situation.
actually just repaved both parking lots.
Oh, okay.
We just came from there now. So both parking lots have been completely repaved, repainted, everything, new lights, everything. So it's very beautiful actually. And we were just actually standing there talking about the layout, where everything's going to go, where the pipe band's going to come from, and I'm so excited for it.
I mean, having the pipe band there, I think I've seen them at a couple of the last Santa Claus Day or Santa Claus parades that go through town.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It goes right by my house here.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
We have a night. My wife and I have a good view of the parade from our porch.
Yeah.
And then other things that people, you already answered is the pets allowed? They're allowed
Yes.
and encouraged to?
They're allowed and encouraged. All we ask is be responsible and clean up after your pets.
Yeah.
So
Solid advice for bringing your pet
and
anywhere.
we will have water on the route for dogs. And there's going to be
humans.
the water depot is going to be right on site, so they can bring the refillable bottles and fill up as much as they want.
Oh, perfect. Is that you say water depot, is that the Guelph tap water people that I've seen at?
No, they have.
This is the big bottled.
Spring. I think it's spring water, isn't it? Or
I think so.
filtered water. I'm not sure. But the water depot, it's like Canada wide, but they are.
They're donating the water for the years
They
for
donate
the run.
their services and water to refill bottles. Make sure that the participants are hydrated along the route. Before and after. After is a huge thing. That's where most people consume their water.
Yeah.
We also have Shannon and Richards.
No frills.
No Frills that sponsor
Donating
food.
donating
to
the
us.
food.
So they donate like apples and bananas and granola bars for after the run, so that participants are
Refueled.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a lot of opportunities for organizations to come out.
Yeah.
I guess it might be too late for organizations to get involved.
Not at all.
No.
It's not too late.
Not at all.
So, or by organizations and individuals can get involved. What sort of needs do you still have from like the organization level and from volunteers? Like where?
So we are always looking for prizes for our silent auction. Well, that's one of our biggest fundraisers. What else are we looking for?
We are looking for prizes for the silent auction. We look for volunteers for
Volunteers
one day,
are
for-
big. We need volunteers a lot.
Just for like route marshals and helping us set up tents and helping us tear down tents and
Yeah.
guiding people where to go.
Which is, that's a really good opportunity for high school students to get in some of their volunteer hours.
Oh yeah, it's never too early to get those
Yep.
crossed off, especially if you can get it done early in the school year.
Yep.
And I think you said people can be registered the day of, like
They can register the day of, but it's a cashless event. So if you're coming the day of, you need to bring your cash to the CIBC to have it deposited before the event.
okay.
Or you can do a self-donation on your phone or whatever device you have and just show the person at registration that you've made your self-donation.
Oh, nice. So lots of different ways that people can give, and
Yep.
I guess that something put on by a bank should have that part at least covered well,
Yeah.
right? That they've got the infrastructure to deal with taking in money in various ways. Anything else you want to cover in terms of the, like, how it works, or?
We do a lot of events leading up to the event.
Okay.
So we always
Fundraising events, yeah.
Yeah, so we have our silent auction. We have Paint the Town Pink coming up, which is September 21st to 27th, where we
Yep.
encourage local businesses. So this is another way for local businesses to get involved. They decorate their storefronts in pink, and they can create little menu specials or drink specials or sell a specific pink merchandise. It just depends on what what the business is. They take pictures and then they submit them to us, and we vote on who the pinkest business is, and they will actually win a business spotlight in guelphtoday.com.
Oh, nice.
Because guelphtoday.com is one of our gold sponsors. They have sponsored advertising and promotional things for us. So they are also doing this business spotlight for us as part of their gold sponsorship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we highly encourage that. We also have a
paint night. We're having a paint event out at Cox Creek Cox Creek Cellars, on September 14th. And we're painting a pink cherry blossom tree. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, that sounds fitting, appropriate. And have you had other events like that you've done recently, or are those some of the ones that just lead like right up to
We
the
just
event?
had Zumbathon
Okay.
at Shake It Off Studios.
Where's Shake It Off Studios?
They are on Woodlawn,
Okay.
just across from Canadian Tire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we raised $600 doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're always looking for different ways to do different fundraisers.
Yeah, so sounds like you'll kind of work with the interested party or the business or however they want to
Yep.
do something kind of fitting for them that makes sense.
Yep.
Last year, Diana's Downtown did a
Henna tattoo.
henna tattoo night with dinner, and they had this beautiful henna artist at the front that did hand hennas, and they had specific tapas and stuff that they were selling were part of the proceeds from that went to the run, and we set up a table there just to kind of, hey, this is what
Awareness.
it's going for.
Yeah,
Awareness
awareness.
table, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Zares has been really good to us too. They
Yeah.
let us set up a table every Saturday in September.
Every Saturday in September, we'll be at Zares on Paisley, the one out by Costco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The is that what it's technically on? Paisley? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll be there.
On off of Elmira or whatever.
Yes.
There, right? Yeah.
Yep. So we'll be out there every Saturday in September, spreading awareness.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get some people to sign up there. We'll have our posters with the QR codes and whatnot for signing up.
When you're at a public event like that, what are the primary questions people tend to have when they're walking up to it?
Do I have to run?
Do I have to run? I would like to, but I can't run that far.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the big question. A lot of people stop and just talk and tell us their stories.
Yeah.
And then they'll donate. If they can't sign up, they'll donate.
I guess that's got to be you've no doubt shared both your own story and then heard so many other impactful stories.
Yeah.
Is that something that you look forward to with these sorts of things, or can it get a little heavy in terms of because it's a lot. Like, it's a big topic. It's a big subject to get
Yeah,
into
but a lot of
sometimes.
people who are standing there telling their stories that they've had breast cancer, they're standing there.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very cathartic for both of us, like for the person telling us and for us. It's a good reminder that people survive. It's actually since 1987, the survival rate of breast cancer has increased by 49%.
Wow.
Just because of research and new technologies, new medicines.
Yep.
So
I know talked about this on the podcast before, but we don't often celebrate the small victories in the world. If you watch the news on any given day, it's about tragedies and accidents, and it can sometimes be easy to lose sight of the ticking away of the progress of, like, those monumental, like you say, over the course of decades, how many lives have been saved, how many lives extended, how many, like, there's so much good that happens because of research like this. Especially at a time like right now, the United States is changing some of how they're funding healthcare and how they're funding research and things like that, and it can be easy to feel like, oh, things are hopeless, or just that there's a lot of negativity, but there still is just a tremendous amount of good people wanting to do good work that are eager to support, eager to be, supported, to dedicate their lives, both on the, the nonprofit raising funds, community activism side of things, and then also just I don't say the boring lab work, but like a lot of, dedicating your life to science. It's going to be a lot of long hours studying, a lot of long hours, like doing hard research that's not necessarily exciting, but that not exciting lab research is a lot of the times what's, taking up those survivability numbers long term. And that, I guess, for people who aren't familiar, who don't know, like, we talk about cancer as if it's a singular thing that we're trying to stop, but it's actually just like our word for an entire, I don't know, family isn't the right word, but there's a lot of different ways that our cells can divide in ways that aren't favorable to us. We call all of those things cancer, but it's sort of just a quirk of we're multicellular life, and in a lot of ways we are singular organisms that are just billions of these tiny units working together, and a trade-off of that fact is that cancer can become, in some ways, almost inevitable in a weird way, with regards to life, that like our immune systems are constantly kind of fighting back against it. But all that to say that for almost every cancer is a unique situation for that person.
Yes,
because every
absolutely.
cancer is that person.
Yep.
Not like self-sabotaging, but you know what I mean? It's not an invader from the outside, which is why it's so difficult to treat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
we were having a discussion about this, how it annoys us when people say they have a cure, they're just holding it back.
Yeah.
But there's so many variants of cancer, and we're such different people that they can't have a one pill cure all. It's impossible. So
yeah, and there's a lot of like people who have qualms about science journalism and things like that, because every day there's headlines, if you go look in those spaces, where it'll be like, oh, scientists discover XYZ kills cancer. Killing cancer is not necessarily difficult, especially if we're talking isolated cancer cells in a petri dish.
Yep.
Like fire will kill cancer.
Exactly.
Bullets will kill cancer.
Yep.
The problem is keeping everything else alive at the same
Around
time.
it, yeah.
Which is why a lot of, cancer treatments can be so destructive and harmful. Like, it's almost like you have to harm everything and hopefully harm the cancer the most.
Yeah.
And
What's good for one isn't good for the other necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. So. And then for individuals, right? Like something can work for an individual and not for everyone within a group. And yeah, I guess if you're a listener and you do happen to have that sort of like, well, they have a cure for cancer. It's always a nebulous they in these sorts of conversations.
Yes, exactly.
But, yeah. It's probably, if you do feel that way, maybe just examine how little you probably know about biology and cancer and just take it's kind of like, you'll very rarely hear people who are like aviation experts who are also into like chemtrails and things like that, because if you work in aviation and you work in it's a lot harder to hide an entire conspiracy of like, oh, the nebulous they are spraying chemicals from every plane in the world, or like the nebulous they have already cured cancer, and just like, okay, so then to believe that, you have to believe that there are millions of cancer researchers who are just pretending and acting, or they're not smart enough to figure it out.
Can you imagine all of these people that have paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for an education to just sit on their hands?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. People
yeah,
aren't going to do that.
It's a misunderstanding of even what that education would consist of. That at the end of your degree, what do they whisper? Like, oh, by the way, we didn't teach you this stuff, but everyone knows, and it's a big secret. Never tell anyone. It becomes kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But in terms of, we've already kind of talked about the different ways people can get involved on the day of. But if people want to learn more, where would you direct them to?
So if they want to learn more about how to register,
anything
or just
above,
anything.
Yeah.
So I would say go on to the Canadian Cancer Society website. You'll get all kinds of information.
Cancer.ca or CIBC runforthecure.com.
Yep.
And if you want to specifically look for Guelph, add a /Guelph to that, and that's how you would register. You can also follow us on any of our socials, because we always put informative things on there, plus registration links. On Facebook, we are Run for the Cure Guelph. On Instagram, we're Run for the Cure _Guelph. And on TikTok, we are Guelph Run.
I'll make sure I include links to a lot of these in the show notes. Is there anything else that, that you want to share with our audience, or
just that CCS, or the Canadian Cancer Society, we call it CCS for short all the time, we actually have research going on right here at the University of Guelph.
Oh yeah.
So the money that we make in Guelph is being used in Guelph.
That's kind of a heartening, a lot of people are focused on the living locally, spending their money locally.
Yep.
And that's an interesting wrinkle of, getting to a benefit of living in a university town, is that your locally donated money is actually still circulating in your city, and that it's paying the salary, it's paying for some of the lab equipment and all the tremendous work that's being done at the university, and it's playing a role in the bigger fight against cancer, and just a fight for life, I guess, is a good way to look at it. Is that it's
a lot of the funds actually go to other programs and such too that are local, such as the Wheels of Hope, which give cancer patients rides to their treatments and to their wigs.
Yeah,
they
wigs.
pay for a lot of wigs for people going through cancer and stuff like that.
Lodging for people who live far away from, obviously, a cancer center.
Right,
So
let them stay closer to
the
getting treatment.
So money, it's well used.
Yeah.
It's support groups for people going through cancer.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy to provide whatever small spotlight this is on your efforts, and thanks for both of you, both for joining me on the podcast today to talk about this, and then also just for both of you, just for dedicating so much of your time towards a cause like this. I think it's
personal.
Yeah, it's got to be in some ways. Just I kind of said this at the beginning, but just like some people would want to, I'll say run, but I just mean like to move away from this sort of pain.
Yep.
To just sort of say like, I'm going to shut the book on that because it's too painful. But I think it does take a lot of strength to voluntarily put yourself in that space, in this space where you're probably dredging up bad, painful memories, but you're doing it for a bigger cause that you believe in and that you think makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks Teresa for sharing some of your story. Thanks Sue for jumping in there and for providing a lot of these details.
I'm her annoying little sister, so that's my job in life.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
problem. And like I said, if there's people are interested, there's lots of links in the show notes. And I hope you have a really good run day this year. Remind us again the exact date of the event.
October 5th. Registration is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Opening ceremonies are 9:30, and we take off at 10 o'clock.
Perfect.
And we're usually done by noon.
Yeah.
So it's just like the first half of the day?
Just the
kind
first
of
half of the day, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Growing Guelph. I've been your host, Jordan Sloggett. Be sure to subscribe to us on social media, on your favorite podcast app, and if you have a recommendation for a future guest you'd like me to speak to, you can reach out to me at growingguelph@gmail.com.